Hi everyone, today I would like to do a short sharing from Luke 8 verse 43 to 48. It is about pain, bravery and faith. It is an account of a woman who had continuous bleeding. And starting with verse 43, there was a woman who had had a discharge of blood for 12 years. And though she had spent all her living on physicians, she could not be healed by anyone. While we are not sure what this bleeding was, it is usually assumed that it was continuous menstrual flow, and how she got the condition was not known. But for sure, she did not want to have this condition. It is said that she had spent all her living on physicians, not just one but multiple physicians. It seemed like she had done everything she could, but she still could not be healed. And of course, such a condition will be challenging on many fronts. Physically, from the constant bleeding, then personally or perhaps emotionally, from the thought of not being able to have children. And in her time, the social impact was so terrible. In Leviticus 15, verse 25 to 27, it says that a woman with this condition is considered unclean. Every bed on which she lies will be unclean. Everything she sits on will be unclean. And not just that, whoever touches the things she touched will be unclean too. In today's situation, perhaps it will be like COVID-positive patient, where the places they go will be disinfected and close contacts will have to follow certain protocols. And worse, in Leviticus 15, the law said that the Israelites must be separated from things that make them unclean. Imagine this happened for 12 years. People would have known her condition, labeled her and shunned her, which means she could not have a normal relationship. Most commentators believe that if she had had a husband, her husband would have divorced her, or she would have been obliged to leave him. No families, no friends, no community. For 12 long years, she would have lived in isolation. It would not be surprising if she asked herself whether her life was worth living. But in her desperation, she had faith, she took action, and she was brave. Verse 44 says, she came up behind Jesus and touched the fringe of his garment, and immediately her discharge of blood ceased. Since she was unclean, being in a crowd, shoulder to shoulder with so many people, would have made people around her unclean, causing inconveniences. So if it were me, the ideal scenario would be to quickly touch and go. But too bad, the crowd was so dense that she could not leave. So in the next verses, it says, Jesus said, Who was it that touched me? When all denied it, Peter said, Master, the crowd surround you and are pressing in on you. But Jesus said, Someone touched me, for I perceive that the power has gone out from me. The time when she did not want to be recognized, she was put at the spot to identify herself. Since the woman did not have many options, she came forward. In the next verses, it says, And when the woman saw that she was not hidden, she came trembling, and falling down before him, declared in the presence of all the people why she had touched him, and how she had been immediately healed. And he said to her, Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace. Jesus called her daughter, means she has a relationship. She is acknowledged and accepted by Jesus. From someone who was isolated to someone having people calling her daughter, someone is called so dearly. And after the healing, her life would be a totally different one. To us, this is probably all too distant, but we all have our share of worry about health, be it our loved ones or ourselves. And we all struggle with something, and some worry about what other people think of us. Or even if it is not the society labeling us, we label ourselves. I'm not good enough, not successful enough, not talented enough, so on and so forth. Regardless of what our body condition is, what people think of us, what we think of ourselves, be brave and have faith. Have a blessed week ahead.